Welcome, and thank you for choosing to listen to All the War They Want. Special Operations Techniques for Winning in Cyber Warfare, Business and Life, written by Jeffrey J. Engle and adapted for audio. In this audiobook, you will discover proven, battle-tested strategies drawn from elite special operations and cybersecurity expertise. As you embark on this journey, prepare to gain unconventional problem-solving techniques that outthink and outmaneuver adversaries. Learn how to build and lead elite teams whose members self-select, self-evaluate, and self-motivate. Develop the grit, adaptability, and culture that turn high-pressure challenges into triumphant victories. Whether you're defending critical assets against cyber threats, forging a competitive edge in business, or striving for personal excellence, this audiobook will equip you with the mindset and methods to win every engagement. Let's begin the mission. Key takeaways. Traditional problem-solving methods are predictable, inflexible, and vulnerable to exploitation by competitors. High-performing individuals are motivated not by compensation or titles, but by the knowledge that their contributions create meaningful and measurable outcomes. Creating exceptional teams requires fostering a culture where members self-select, self-evaluate, and self-motivate. Training employees on specific protocols limits their effectiveness to their training scope. Instead, develop their critical thinking abilities to enable autonomous decision-making. Part 1. Intelligence preparation of the battlefield. Know the environment. Success fundamentally depends on resilience and the capacity to persevere through challenging circumstances. Understanding your operational environment forms the foundation for anticipating likely scenarios. In our digital era, this encompasses recognizing significant cybersecurity vulnerabilities, especially those originating from internal sources. The 5 primary categories of insider threats are 1. Negligent employees, team members or partners who unintentionally violate protocols, mismanage sensitive information, misuse resources, or implement unauthorized solutions. 2. Compromised insiders, staff members, or other internal personnel who are influenced, coerced, or incentivized by external actors to compromise organizational data. 3. Vengeful employees, current or former personnel who deliberately take actions intended to damage their organization. 4. Malicious outsiders, external individuals who gain unauthorized access to internal systems for personal benefit. 5. Irresponsible partners, external collaborators who create security vulnerabilities through negligence, misuse, or malicious intent. Know the enemy. The second principle in asymmetric conflict is developing the ability to understand your adversary's perspectives without vilifying them. Consider these guidelines when evaluating your opponents. Reject assumptions and conventional thinking, instead focusing on exploring potential scenarios. Understand that adversaries come from diverse backgrounds, ethnicities, beliefs, and genders. They can be located anywhere, be anyone, and many harbor no personal hostility toward you. Prepare thoroughly and comprehend your environment to identify your competitive strengths and response capabilities. Know yourself. Regardless of your strengths or defensive capabilities, you will inevitably encounter opponents you cannot defeat or failures you cannot prevent. Risk mitigation and failure impact reduction are achievable through maintaining acute self-awareness and understanding your capabilities, guided by these concepts. Accept failure as inevitable and make peace with this reality. Don't let fear of losing prevent you from handling it when it occurs. Conduct thorough due diligence to stay current with your protective measures. Relying solely on broader infrastructure safeguards will never guarantee complete security. Maintain awareness of your abilities. Choose your battles strategically and continuously pursue self-improvement. Establish a solid foundation using proven approaches, then advance by developing unique methods suited to your specific needs and capabilities. Part 2. Connecting people to the purpose. Doing cool stuff. Recruitment efforts often overemphasize finding perfectly qualified candidates who can immediately contribute at full capacity. The ideal employees are better identified by seeking individuals with resilience, adaptability, and the appropriate mindset for the challenges ahead. To assemble a team of exceptional performers, Consider these attraction strategies. Elite performers are frequently innovators who reject mediocrity. They are not drawn by salary or position alone, but by engaging and exciting work assignments. Challenge level, uncertain outcomes, and selective reputation may deter many candidates. But these exact characteristics attract the team members you need. Sustaining a reputation as an elite destination requires refusing to tolerate underperformers. Those who hesitate, perform below standards, or hinder team progress cannot remain. Stuff that makes an impact. While marketing teams can easily claim elite status, maintaining that sense of significance and impact within your team requires regular demonstrations of progress and victory celebrations. Elite performers thrive on the feeling that their work creates noticeable and substantial impact. Implement these strategies to maintain elite motivation. Different types of recognition and rewards resonate differently with each individual. Leaders should understand each team member's achievement preferences and meet them accordingly. Conventional wisdom suggests fanatics make the most passionate workers, but fanatical teams tend to exclude outsiders and suppress internal disagreement. Ensure team members are internally motivated by accomplishments rather than externally motivated by compliance. Large objectives can be divided into smaller milestones that create opportunities for recognition and reward. Frequent acknowledgement, even for minor accomplishments, contributes more to performance and morale than infrequent large celebrations. Doing stuff with people you like. A distinction exists between a team of elite individuals and merely an elitist team. Genuine elite teams are self-reflective, self-selecting, demand high accountability levels, and challenge each other to solve the most difficult and impactful problems. Build an elite team by selecting appropriate employees and cultivating elite culture through these principles. Identify skill sets that benefit a diverse, well-rounded team, then determine where to find these individuals. Exploring unconventional sources can produce surprising results. After building a small core of reliable elite performers who establish your desired standards, allow them to recruit additional members from their networks. Seek individuals with emotional stability, intellectual capacity, and learning agility to complete their capabilities. High performance alone is insufficient for selection. Team cohesion must be ensured by choosing only those who integrate well with existing members and positively contribute to driving success. Part 3. Unconventional at scale. Mission as a concept. Conventional, correct approaches rooted in tradition are predictable and therefore easily exploitable. While preparing for worst-case scenarios seems comprehensive, it isn't sufficient. Real problems are often too complex for specific plans to address effectively. Scaling your personal unconventional approach for broader impact requires empowering your team to act unconventionally by following these steps. Ensure your team is prepared and capable of approaching problems and goals unconventionally with the aim of maximizing impact. Package your mission into a scalable concept that extends beyond your team and compels others to take action. Step back as a leader and allow your core team to drive the mission forward by connecting their experiences to your mission. Grit as a differentiator. Grit represents a crucial element in your team selection process. Seek candidates who can adapt and maintain flexibility under pressure, make decisions without specific task completion guidance, and persist when others would surrender. The essential values to screen for are drive, excellence, loyalty, teamwork, and adaptability. Among these, adaptability is most critical for elite team selection. Inability to adapt to difficult situations will inevitably undermine the other 4 values. Consider the following when selecting elites. When individuals face new, difficult, or uncomfortable situations, their capacity for teamwork is typically the first quality to diminish. When candidates encounter tasks they feel unable to adapt to overcome, they lose the motivation to continue. When someone lacks adaptability and isn't given specific steps to achieve excellence, they won't attempt to try. Without hope for achievement, their loyalty disappears. Culture and brand as a catalyst. Branding is essential for long-term success and represents a failure point when not adequately invested in. Strong brands require deep cultural alignment based on shared experiences among organization members, prospective members, and external stakeholders you want to motivate. After team building, the next step involves developing culture and reputation that attracts and retains elite talent. Build a strong brand by instilling in your team immediate action when asked to do something. Ensure complete team trust by never assigning tasks without providing necessary resources and capabilities for achievement. Reinforcing grit, pushing boundaries, encouraging growth, and maintaining trust. Establishing standards for future hires. Candidates interested in joining must understand expectations and the selection process seriousness. Part 4. The guy on the ground. Build and enable. Once your team is established and your brand has expanded, you must transition to a less hands-on leadership role. Grant your team the capability and trust to operate without explicit guidance. Instead, focus your energy as your team's guardian, providing visibility about their efforts to higher leadership levels. Enable this transition by training your team to embody these principles. Tactical predictability. Provide your team the ability and freedom to meet their needs, seek understanding, make decisions, and adapt as necessary. Operational flexibility. Rather than rewarding compliance or extra effort, reward outcomes exclusively and grant freedom to achieve those outcomes as efficiently as possible. Strategic flexibility. Instead of hiring specialists, build capable teams able to work together effectively and amplify their diverse skill sets. Fight the urge to manage. Reduce direct control by appointing trusted subordinates as daily managers. Ground-level responders can react more quickly to developments and make necessary decisions. Excessive control only slows team reactions and stunts growth. Focus instead on providing necessary tools and appropriate protections for decision-makers. Keep these recommendations in mind. Like a parent teaching a child to ride a bicycle, you cannot maintain control forever, nor can you simply provide the tools and expect independent mastery. Set objectives and provide sufficient guidance to begin without enough to achieve the outcome independently. Those who recognize gaps and draw logical conclusions to reach outcomes will develop. Individuals in difficult situations will not rise to meet your expectations. They will perform at their training level. How your team responds to problems establishes how they will handle future challenges. Accountability. Accountability represents the most critical leadership aspect. When failures or achievements occur, leaders must provide appropriate consequences or rewards. To maintain elite culture, understand the 3 accountability types and ensure your team operates according to cultural accountability. 1. Personal. Following societal expectations, often without understanding the reasoning behind actions. 2. Hierarchical. Avoiding behaviors that result in punishment. Unfortunately, this motivates employees to establish minimum performance standards to avoid punishment without exceeding them. 3. Cultural. Recognizing that actions impact both you and your team and striving to benefit both. This cannot be imposed from above or enforced through threats. Only genuine teammate encouragement and cultural reinforcement can achieve this. Conclusion. This concludes All the War They Want. Special operations techniques for winning in cyber warfare, business, and life. You now possess the unconventional strategies that elite special operations forces use to succeed in the most challenging environments. You understand how to build teams that don't just perform, they excel under pressure and adapt to any challenge. You know how to identify and neutralize threats before they become problems. Most importantly, you have the framework to create a culture of elite performance that scales beyond yourself. The principles in this book aren't theoretical. They're proven in the crucible of real-world operations. Jeffrey J. Engle's hard-won insights from the battlefield to the boardroom provide you with more than tactics. They provide you with a mindset that transforms challenges into opportunities for victory. The war for excellence never ends. The question isn't whether you'll face adversity, it's whether you'll be ready when it comes. With these tools, you're prepared not just to survive, but to thrive and lead others to victory. Now go forth and win all the war you want.